Chapter 1. The Merchant's Heavy Heart. The first light of dawn touches the red sandstone walls of Rajir, painting them in gentle amber hues as the ancient city awakens. You find yourself walking through narrow stone pathways where the scent of jasmine mingles with burning incense from distant temples. The morning air carries whispers of prayers and the soft chiming of temple bells, creating a sacred rhythm that has echoed through these hills for centuries. As you descend toward the merchant quarter, the peaceful silence gradually gives way to the stirring sounds of commerce. Wooden shutters creak open, revealing shops filled with silk scarves that shimmer like captured sunlight, brass vessels that gleam with careful polishing, and spices arranged in perfect pyramids of saffron, turmeric, and cardamom. Their earthy fragrances create an intoxicating tapestry that speaks of distant lands and ancient trade routes. Here, among the awakening marketplace, you encounter Dhanaraj, a merchant whose name means king of wealth. His prosperity is evident in everything around him: the fine cotton of his dhoti, the gold that adorns his fingers, the spacious courtyard of his home where peacocks strut freely among flowering mango trees. Yet as you observe him more closely, you notice something that wealth cannot disguise: the deep lines of worry etched around his eyes, the way his hands tremble slightly as he counts his coins, the restless energy that keeps him moving even when there is nowhere urgent to go. You watch as Dhanaraj inspects his goods with obsessive attention, running his fingers along bolts of silk to check for any imperfection, tasting spices to ensure their potency, weighing precious stones with meticulous care. Each action carries the weight of anxiety, as if he fears that one moment of inattention might bring his entire world crashing down. His servants move around him with practiced silence, understanding that their master's mood can shift like monsoon winds. The morning progresses, and you witness the strange paradox of Dhanaraj's existence. Customers arrive seeking his finest wares, praising his reputation for quality and fair dealing. Gold coins flow into his hands like water, yet each transaction brings him no joy. Instead, you see him always calculating the cost of goods, the profit margins, the taxes he must pay, the bribes that keep his caravans safe on dangerous roads. His mind races ahead to tomorrow's uncertainties. Will the rains come early and spoil his grain stores? Will bandits attack his next shipment to the western ports? Will his competitors discover his secret sources in the Spice Islands? As the sun climbs higher, casting sharp shadows between the market stalls, you observe how Dhanaraj's prosperity has become his prison. The very success that should bring him peace instead multiplies his fears. The more he has, the more there is to lose. Each additional storehouse filled with goods represents not abundance, but another source of potential disaster. You begin to understand how attachment to material wealth can transform blessings into burdens. During the heat of midday, when most merchants rest in the shade, Dhanaraj continues his restless supervision. You notice how he starts at every unexpected soundapot falling in the distance. A child's sudden cry, the thunder of horse hooves on stone. His body carries the constant tension of someone expecting catastrophe. The muscles in his shoulders remain rigid, his breathing shallow and quick, as if his very breath is held hostage by his fears. You follow him to his private chambers above the shop, where account books lie scattered across low wooden tables. By the light of oil lamps, he pores over columns of numbers, calculating and recalculating his wealth. The irony strikes you deeply. Here is a man surrounded by abundance, yet starving for peace. His fine silk cushions cannot provide comfort to a mind that knows no rest. The sweetest delicacies taste like ash when consumed by anxiety. As evening approaches and the marketplace settles into the gentle rhythm of closing time, you observe Dhanaraj's nighttime ritual. He performs multiple checks of every lock, every shutter, every hiding place where valuables are stored. He questions his guards repeatedly about their vigilance plans, walks the perimeter of his property, searching for signs of intrusion, and finally retreats to his sleeping chamber, where rest eludes him. You sit quietly in the moonlit courtyard, listening to the night sounds of Rajirtha distant chanting from temples, the soft hooting of owls in the sal trees, the gentle splash of water in ornamental pools. These sounds that should bring peace to any soul pass unnoticed by Dhanaraj, whose mind is too occupied with tomorrow's potential disasters to receive tonight's gifts of tranquility. Through the latticed window, you can see his silhouette pacing back and forth, occasionally pausing to peer out at the darkness, as if watching for enemies that exist primarily in his imagination. The very wealth that society envies has become the source of his sleeplessness. Each coin in his treasure room represents not security, but another reason for insomnia. In these quiet hours before dawn, as you reflect on Dhanaraj's struggle, a profound understanding begins to emerge. You recognize how the mind, when focused entirely on future possibilities, becomes incapable of experiencing present realities. The merchant's suffering stems not from actual loss or poverty, but from his mental projection of what might happen tomorrow, next week, next year. His fear of impermanence creates a different kind of impermanence, the constant erosion of his ability to find joy in the current moment. The night air carries the fragrance of night-blooming jasmine, and you breathe deeply, allowing its sweetness to fill your awareness. In this simple act, you discover what Dhanaraj has forgotten, that peace exists only in the present moment, available to anyone willing to release their grip on tomorrow's uncertainties. The question forms gently in your mind: if prosperity cannot guarantee happiness, and anxiety can coexist with abundance, what is the true source of contentment that neither wealth nor poverty can disturb?